What's up, guys? It's Sean here with the Sean Daily Football Channel, and today I thought it would be really fun to kind of do something a little bit different. We're going to do a My 11, My XI of the Year event. We're pretty much approaching the end of 2021. Great year it's been. And I thought it would be fun to kind of go through and give my thoughts on what the best players per position has been. This is all just my opinion. I'm not really delving too deep into individual stats and specifics, because if you go through that, you're going to end up with different results, obviously. However, I think this is a pretty good XI that I've been able to set up, and I think it's been quite well balanced. There's very little bias in here, and I think this is a good showing of what we have seen in this calendar year, actually. I am going to give an honorable mention per position. And without further ado, let's kind of get started. I do have in position number 1, Gianluigi Donnarumma, for his time both at AC Milan last season, securing them in the top 4, his miraculous Euro journey, and his work so far at PSG. I think he's been can't say comfortably, but one of the best goalkeepers in the world, very easily. I think he definitely deserves to be here. The fact that he's only 22 is scary. In general, the level, how young this XI is kind of ridiculous. So lots of potential here. My honorable mention will go out to Alisson from Liverpool. I think he's this closest second, but I'm pretty comfortable with that. Gianluigi Donnarumma, number 1 goalkeeper. Moving on to right back, I believe Trent Alexander-Arnold was the standout right back of the year. I know he had a little bit of a dip at the beginning of the season, but all throughout, I think he's been fantastic. I think this season in particular, he's been the best right back in the league, if not the world. I think he's one of the best players in the Premier League. Gary Neville was talking about it last week. It's Beckham, De Bruyne combined. And that is already a scary concept, to think that you could be as good as one of those players, but he literally does have the skills of both, and he's fantastic. No matter what he's doing, I've been so impressed with watching him play. The only player that I think has come close to him in the last calendar year is Achraf Hakimi. It was kind of neck and neck for me between the two. I thought he's been fantastic as well. Moving on to center back, I believe the first center back spot will go to Antonio Rudiger of Chelsea, one of many Chelsea players that are on this XI. I think his work in securing Chelsea the Champions League, their current run in the Premier League, their run to the FA Cup final last season, securing them top 4 last year, all around, I think Rudiger's been detrimental. Chelsea's by far been the best defense in the world, in my opinion, across the last calendar year. And thus, I think in no small part has that been down to Antonio Rudiger. You can make an argument for Thiago Silva as well, but I actually think Rudiger is more important and has been more available for the team. I'll kind of round up both my backup center backs into after I talk about the next one. But definitely Antonio Rudiger as one of the center back spots, guaranteed. Then we have the other center back spot will be Ruben Diaz, blanked on his name for a sec. Absolutely detrimental, completely has transformed that back line for City. I would consider him the best center back in the world at this moment, for this last calendar year. So assured, so controlling, amazing 1v1, amazing bringing the ball out the back, just keeping the tempo going. Only 23, absolute ridiculous player. Detrimental in Chelsea's in Premier League run and in their EFL Cup win and their current run at the top of the league. The other 2 center backs I kind of have on my list, one would be Virgil van Dijk. I think he's been very, very good, and Thiago Silva that I mentioned previously. Both of those could have easily been in this list. However, injuries, other circumstances, decide to take them out. My left back option, I am going with the Bayern Munich left back Alphonso Davies. I think he's been absolutely sublime. Every time I watch him play, he's just a nightmare to deal with, bombing down that left flank, both offensively, defensively. His speed is just phenomenal. He's so fun to watch. I think he is definitely the standout left back in the world at the moment. There are a few others that I do want to give a shout out to. Obviously, Robertson can't be said pretty much outside of can't go too much with talking about Trent when you can't talk about Robertson. I think he's been phenomenal. Luke Shaw was honestly an argument for a shout, but I don't think he's been that good. The other people that do come to mind would be João Cancelo. Also fantastic. Moving on to center mid. The center mid spots were very, very difficult, but I settled with N'Golo Kante for the first spot. I think his run for Chelsea specifically, he's so incredible. The difference between when Chelsea play with Conte and without Conte, he's the best midfielder in the world. There's not much else to be said about him. He is just phenomenal. He cleans up the midfield, makes 10 plus tackles a game. It's ridiculous. This role is going to be known as the Conte role moving on forward from the years that it was called the Makelele role. This is his role. This is his role, and this is what he's going to do. Injuries are taking a toll on him currently, but I definitely believe that he is the standout midfielder for the season, the last year. Moving on, we have another Chelsea midfielder in Mason Mount, who will be also in my XI. I think he has had the highest chance creation in the Premier League this season for the calendar year. Absolutely amazing in Chelsea's run to the Champions League. And a lot of this is signified. The Champions League is the most difficult competition in the world. And thus, winning it, that team does need to get a decent amount of credit. Mason Mount, I thought, was a detrimental player. Created the goal in the Champions League final as well. Very, very detrimental. He's been Chelsea's highest goal scorer this year as well, which is no mean feat. The other players that I could have had in these spots, Jorginho came to mind. You guys know my feelings on Jorginho. Kimmich was a definite shout. I definitely like the idea. Gundogan, possibly. A few others as well. Final midfield spot goes to the man himself, the legend that is Thomas Muller. One of my favorite players across football. I think he is an absolute gem of a player. If it wasn't for Messi and Ronaldo, he would have been viewed as one of the best players in the world at given points across the last 10 years. There's not enough good things that can be said about Muller. Broke the assist record, obviously. Just does so many phenomenal things in that Bayern squad. The fact that he wasn't being played until Hansi Flick came back is an absolute mystery to me. He is one of the best German players alive currently, and age doesn't seem to be slowing him down. Just runs in like a truck, scores goals, assists, creates, and his relationship with Lewandowski is just bar none. It's just phenomenal. Bruno Fernandez, if not for the current dip, would have been my other choice here. Maybe a few others as well. Right wing is the only option is Mohamed Salah, in my opinion. Mohamed Salah has been the best player in the world, in my opinion. Almost as good as Lewandowski across this last calendar year. So detrimental to Liverpool, so detrimental in the Premier League, in the Champions League, just scores goals nonstop. I believe he has 45 goal contributions in 58 games this year. Just stupid numbers. For that to be in the Premier League, it's ridiculous. Obviously, the best Premier League player of the year. There's not much more things that can be said about how good Mohamed Salah is. We're going to see how he does in the AFCON next month as well, see if he can carry Egypt. The other player that is for this position would be Lionel Messi. I don't think because of his form at PSG, this can be given to him, though. That's just my thoughts. However, a player at PSG that can be given credit to is the highest goal scorer of the year, the person with the highest goal contributions this year, and that is Kilian Mbappe. There's not, as far as me talking praise about any of the players on this chart, there's not much I can say that's going to be like, oh, I didn't know that about Mbappe. He's freaking amazing. And the fact that he's only 22 is truly frightening. The potential that he has is ridiculous. He is going to go down as one of the greatest players of all time. He will be winning Ballon d'Ors very, very soon. The move to Real Madrid that is pretty much guaranteed at this point next season is just going to catapult him into the stratosphere as far as who he is and what impact he's going to have on the game. The other players in this position, I couldn't really think of that many, honestly. Moving on to the best player of the year, in my opinion, and the striker for the formation. There could only be one man, and that is Robert Lewandowski. There is not enough good things to say about this man. He has been the best player in the world for the last 2 years, in my opinion. I don't think it's been an argument. Even years before that, there's been arguments that he should have been, because he's an absolute class act. He scores goals better than anybody else in the world. He's always finding new ways and adapting. His link-up play, his touch, headers, right foot, left foot, volleys. No matter what you want, Lewandowski's your guy, and Lewandowski delivers that for you. The other players for this position, Ronaldo, not really. There was a few others. Lukaku's really ruined it since he's gone to City. Benzema was the second person I would have had in this role. And on the left wing as well, I did want to mention Vinicius Jr. possibly would be my closest person. And that's pretty much going to be it. That's our XI of the year. This is, in my opinion, the best players per position for 2021. We have Gianluigi Donnarumma, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Rudiger, Ruben Diaz, Alphonso Davies, N'Golo Kante, Mason Mount, Thomas Muller, Mohamed Salah, Robert Lewandowski, and Kilian Mbappe. What an XI that would be. I will be back most likely tomorrow with another video on my thoughts on who the best manager of the year has been and who that award should go to. And we will do most likely one for the best goal of the year. We'll do a mini Pushkash award. Why not? I'll give it out. I'll give out the Pushkash award. No big deal. Who cares about what FIFA says? But, and we will also be doing a couple other fun videos as well as we're coming out over the next few weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching. It means the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Talk to you guys. Bye.